Hi again. It's time for dinner. So what's for dinner tonight? I didn't want to go out and buy more food because I have so much food here right now, especially in my freezer. I had some peppers that I bought last week or maybe 2 weeks ago that have been in my refrigerator for the pepper tomato cucumber salad that I made yesterday. I bought some fresh peppers. I didn't want to use these. So these peppers are getting a little bit old, and I decided that I'm going to make some stuffed peppers. So I checked my freezer to see what kind of meat I had. I really like to make stuffed peppers with sausage. I didn't have any sausage and there's no ground beef, but I found a pound of ground pork. So today I'm going to be making stuffed peppers with ground pork. So I'll take you over to the counter. I'll show you my ingredients. It's going to be very simple, but I think it'll be good. Okay, so this is what we're working with today. So I have these red peppers. They they're a little old. Um, they've been in the fridge for a while. So the best thing to do with them is to bake them. I could roast them, but that's not going to help me for dinner tonight. I have a little bit of a red onion, which I'm going to add to the pork and maybe add some to the sauce as well. I have some garlic, which I'm going to add to the pork and also to the sauce. I have this Calabrian chili oil. It's for extra virgin olive oil. It's hot. So I'm going to try to make them a little bit spicy. I think I'll add some to the pork, and then also when I start my sauce, I'll just use that instead of olive oil. I'm going to use a can of the whole peeled tomatoes, salt and pepper, and basil. So pretty simple. I looked at some recipes and a lot of them cook the pork first, but that's not usually when I make stuffed peppers with beef or with sausage. I don't cook it first. You just fill them with the raw meat and then it cooks in the oven. So I'm not going to cook it first. Um, so we'll see how this turns out. I think it's going to be good. Fingers crossed. Oh, and the other thing is the recipes that I looked at had a lot of ingredients. So one of the things that I really try to do when I cook is I don't overspice. I don't put a ton of stuff in my food. So it's pretty simple. You see that there are just a few ingredients here. The recipes had paprika and rosemary and all kinds of things going on. You really want to just taste your ingredients. If you have good ingredients, you don't need to cover up the flavor with something else. So these are some really good ingredients. The peppers are going to give it a lot of flavor. The onions, the garlic, the Calabrian chili oil, and the basil. And the tomatoes have kind of a natural sweetness about them. So I think it's going to be good. So I'm going to prep everything and then I'll show you how I put it all together. My onions and garlic are cooking in the Calabrian chili oil and it smells good. So I can smell the aroma of everything, the oil, the onions, and the garlic. You don't need to cook it that much just to release some of the flavors. And then I'm going to put my whole tomatoes in. So the way that I do the whole tomatoes, use your hands. Just be careful. This is a nice deep pot, so you want to just squeeze them. And you just want to be careful because they will squirt. So you want to go deep into the pot. Some of them are not exactly whole, so they don't all need to be squished. Ah, it's so satisfying. This is like one of my favorite things to do here in the kitchen. They're cold. And then I'm just going to let this cook down while I prepare the peppers and put some spices in the pork. I was thinking about it, so I am going to use some whole garlic and onions, but I'm going to add also some garlic powder and onion powder to the pork just to make sure that it's really flavorful, but not a whole lot of conflicting flavors. So, I could add rosemary. Rosemary is always good with pork, but not rosemary and peppers. That doesn't really make sense to me. Just going to rinse off my hand and then add the rest of this juice. The Cento whole tomatoes have a really nice thick puree in them. Some whole tomatoes that you buy, they're like in tomato juice. So I like the fact that this is thick. All right, so that looks good. It's going to be a nice chunky tomato sauce. So I'm probably going to let this cook down for about 30 minutes while I finish up the peppers. I'll come back, I'll taste it, adjust the seasoning, and then we're ready to go. Okay, my pork is ready to be mixed. I added some garlic powder, onion powder, salt, pepper, as well as some chopped onion and chopped garlic. I've started getting the peppers ready. So basically you just want to take out the seeds, but leave the top part because that's what's going to hold it together. It's a little bit tricky, but you just kind of cut around it and then cut out this white membrane. And then we're just going to stuff the peppers with the pork. Ready to stuff the peppers. I put a little bit of the sauce in my baking dish. Mixed up the pork with the seasonings, the onion and the garlic. Going to bake them uncovered for about 30 minutes. And then I'm going to add the sauce on top. My oven is ready. Oh, it doesn't look like I'm going to have enough here. Guess I'll just do 5 peppers. Usually with stuffed peppers, you'll also put rice in the meat, but I'm making these keto, I guess. So no carb. Okay, they're ready to go. I'm going to pop them in the oven, 30 minutes. My sauce is continuing to cook down. Actually, let me drizzle a little bit of this hot oil on them. Ooh. All right. In the oven they go. The peppers have been in the oven for about 30 minutes and starting to brown. My sauce has thickened up a little bit. So I'm just going to cover the peppers with the rest of the sauce. You can see it's nice and chunky. The extra half pepper that I had, I just sliced that up and throw that in here rather than let it go to waste. Smells delicious. A little bit more salt. Some black pepper. Going to cover it with foil now and put it back in the oven for about an hour. I really want the peppers to be nice and soft, and I want to make sure the pork is fully cooked. The peppers have been cooking for about an hour now, and it just smells so good. So it looks to me like they are done. The sliced peppers that I put in here, the half of a pepper that I sliced and put in there is nice and soft. So that's telling me that these peppers are done as well. Oh, it looks really good. It's a beautiful red color. It's just so vibrant. I just tasted the sauce. It's really nice. And then I made a simple green salad with some carrots, tomatoes, and a vinaigrette. So it's actually a big salad. I'm just probably going to have one stuffed pepper if I can control myself and eat mostly the salad, and then I'll save the peppers for later in the week. They also freeze really well. So if you find yourself with a lot of peppers, stuffed peppers are definitely something worth making. You can freeze them in individual containers, serving sizes. Just take it out when you're ready to eat and heat it up. Okay, I'll meet you at the table for the tasting. All right, I'm ready to dig in. It smells delicious. It looks great. Just so nice, and it's just so much red here. It's just so vibrant. The red pepper and the red tomatoes. I can smell the onion, the garlic. It's perfect. The tomatoes, the peppers are kind of sweet. The pork is nice and flavorful. Just that little bit of onion and garlic was perfect. The nice thing about pork compared to beef is, beef tends to dry out. Pork still has, that fattiness to it. So good. The tomatoes, really good. I need some bread. I'm going to take one of my rolls out of the freezer and use that to sop this up. So there goes my low carb meal today. But what are you going to do? The salad is just a simple green salad, vinaigrette, vinegar oil, some garlic powder, onion powder, and some Italian seasoning, salt and pepper. Nice and fresh, light. I'm just going to eat one pepper today, if I can control myself. So that's it. Stuffed peppers, great thing to make on a chilly summer day. Summer here is cold, so it's a nice thing to make. They freeze really well. You can just put them in individual containers, 1 or 2 peppers, freeze them. When you're ready to eat, just take it out, defrost it, heat it up. I'm going to put the rest of these in the refrigerator and just eat them later this week. So try it. You can use sausage, you can use beef, you can use pork, you can use a combination of all of those things. I don't know about a vegetarian option. Sorry. Um, just roast the peppers and put some feta cheese or something. I don't really know, but try it. Try it. Let me know what you think. Remember to like this video and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Bye.